everyone, my name's Kelly, and today I am representing WalletConnect at this year's ETHGlobal Brussels. We are the UX platform for the new internet. We believe that the next phase of the internet is where utility meets usability to drive unparalleled usefulness. So all of our products revolve around giving builders and users the control, choice, and composability they need. If you're watching this, you probably have heard of us. You'll know that we've always been the connective tissues between apps and wallets. End-to-end encrypted connections, frictionless UX, easy peasy integration, and of course, supporting multiple chains. This year, we're really excited to have relaunched our product offering with an all-new set of toolkits that make it super easy for builders of apps and wallets to build for the new internet. For this ETHGlobal, we'll be encouraging builders to build with AppKit, our all-in-one stack to build apps for the new internet. With AppKit, you've got horsepower under the hood and surface-level simplicity that makes it easy for builders of any level to build apps. AppKit is perfect for hackathons because it provides you out-of-the-box solutions for building incredibly powerful UX-driven apps. In this video, I'm going to be taking you through how to get started with a regular Next.js app, how to set up your configuration, and how to leverage the state and information of the wallet that's connected to your app. I'll also leave you with some resources in case you want to get some support or learn more about how you can leverage AppKit for your hackathon build. To get started building with AppKit, you'll need to go down and navigate to WalletConnect Cloud, where you'll create an account. You can either continue with email or you can just connect your wallet and it will create an account for you based on your wallet address. So I'm going to go ahead and create an account for my wallet named On-Chain Taste. Going to use Ethereum, sign the transaction, and voila. Once you've created your account, you should land on this page where it will prompt you to go and create a project. So let's go ahead and call this UX Heaven. We can leave the link blank. That will only be relevant when you deploy your project to a public domain. We're going to select AppKit as our product. We're going to select Next.js as a platform, and it will have created a new project for us. So you'll land on this quick start wizard that takes you through the process of setting up your project. It makes it super easy to go from 0 to 1 in terms of having all your correct configuration so that you can start building your app. All right, now we're ready to roll. So let's go ahead and create a new Next.js app on our local drive. Oh, we don't want that. Awesome. Let's call this project UX Heaven, like our cloud project, and accept all of the default settings. And we'll wait for that to finish rendering. Okay, awesome. Let's navigate into the app. And then what's really nice is if you go back to your cloud dashboard, you should be able to simply copy the install command. So today we're going to use pnpm as our package manager. I'm going to go and copy that, navigate back to my terminal, and simply just install the packages. So as mentioned, we recently did a product relaunch as AppKit. Currently, our package is still called Web3 Modal, in case anyone is slightly confused by that. Okay, once all the dependencies are installed, we're just going to go ahead and run our app in our local host. Let's open this up. And once we open that up, we'll arrive here, the page that every single dev sees when they start a Next.js app from scratch. Now let's go ahead and set up our environment variables. So I'm going to just briefly stop this. We're going to go ahead and install the .env library. This package allows us to safely store our environment variables, and this is especially important when you're building Web3 apps because there's lots of secret data that you don't want leaked to the internet. So now let's go ahead and open up our code. Okay, now this is what we have, just a regular Next.js app. But firstly, let's go ahead and just create a .env file in the root folder. So, okay, awesome. And we're going to go ahead and copy and paste the key. Inside here, we have to put our project ID. So we're actually going to navigate back to our cloud. You can simply click on this button in the left column and it will copy it for you to your clipboard. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to paste my project ID in here. I will be deleting this project after the demo, so no worries there. And we should be good to move on to the next part, which is setting up the configuration. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to my terminal. I'm going to make sure that I'm in my root folder. I am then going to create a directory called config. And within that directory, I will create a file called index.tsx. So a quick tip is for you to go back to cloud, and once you click done in the quick start wizard, it will actually give you a nice structure or skeleton that you can simply copy and take over to your project and just copy and paste it in. Real quick, a 1-minute run through of just what exactly is in this file here. Right here, we are bringing in the default configuration from the Web3 Modal React configuration library. We then go ahead and grab a couple of functions from wagmi to manage how and where our data is stored. This line right here imports all the required chains for this demo. I'm actually going to go ahead and import in base and also base Sepolia. So if you actually go to wagmi, docs, down to chains. Here you'll be able to see all the chains that are supported, and how you find them is basically just by searching the chain, and it will have just exactly what you need to import into your project to be able to reach these chains. And right here is where our project ID goes. Because I copied this piece of code straight from my cloud account, it will have already populated the project ID in here. But we actually want to replace this with env next. Let's just remember what that was. Okay, go back here. All right, that's how we want to put our project ID in to ensure maximum security. This metadata object here will have all the information about our app. So as you can see, because I copied it straight from cloud, it has already populated with UX Heaven. The description can be AppKit example, or let's say the app with the best UX in the world. Here in this line, you can see that we actually create an object with the chains that our app will interact with. So here again, I'm going to import in what we imported up here from wagmi chains. This line is then used in our object here, where we use a default wagmi config function that we imported above in this file. We'll have the chains, the project ID, the metadata. We'll set SSR to true, which means we'll enable server-side rendering. We'll set storage to a new instance of create storage, in which we'll use cookies to manage our data. And then down here with wagmi options, you can add here whatever you want. So in terms of wagmi configuration, this is all we need up till this point. Now our app will have all the required information to be able to interact with the blockchain. Great, now let's give our app some context. We're going to create a directory in the root folder called context. And within that, we're going to create an index.tsx file as well. Okay, and for this, I'm going to go back to the docs and just copy in exactly what they have given us for the context provider. There we go. You'll notice, first of all, we have the use client directive here because we need to make sure that this file runs on the client side. Here we import all of the essentials. We import the config object and the project ID from our config file. We'll pull in the create Web3 modal function from the Web3 wagmi React library so that we can actually create the modal. We'll use the query client and the query client provider from React Query to manage data fetching. And lastly, the state and the wagmi provider from wagmi to manage all of our Web3 connections. In this line, we create a new instance of query client called query client. Then in this line, we implement some basic error handling. If there is no project ID, we will throw an error. So in this create Web3 modal object, we have the wagmi config set as config, project ID. Here, enable analytics, which means that you'll be able to see all the analytics for your app inside your cloud account. And here on ramp, which allows your users to buy crypto directly in app, toggle to true. These are all optional. You can toggle them to false if you'd like. And lastly, there's the Web3 Modal provider. This is a component that wraps all of its children with the providers for wagmi provider and the query client provider. All right, now the hardest part is over and we can now move on to the fun stuff. So you're going to go ahead and you're going to navigate to our layout.txx, and this is where the main layout for our app will live. We're going to get started by importing in the provider component, and then we're going to call in the required wagmi functions. So first up, let's go ahead and import cookie to initial state from wagmi. This helps us convert cookie data to the initial state. Then we're going to go ahead and import in the configuration settings for our app. So let's go and import config from our config. We're also going to import in, of course, the Web3 Modal provider from our context. Now, if you look down here, this is the metadata. Let's call this what our app is called, which is called UX Heaven. And then let's go ahead and change the description. App with the best UX in the world. Now we arrive at our root layout component. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to store the value from this function cookie to initial state inside an object called initial state, cookie to initial state. Let's add in as parameters our config headers. We'll actually need to import that from next headers. Okay, and then we're going to get cookie. All right, I think we need an extra parentheses there. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to wrap the children inside the Web3 Modal provider. So let me just make some space here and let me put in Web3 Modal provider. We're going to set the initial state to the initial state object. Okay, and now what we have to do is pop that there. Let's fix that. And voila, that's basically all we need to do for our layout. So we're successfully wrapping all of our app content with Web3 functionality via this Web3 Modal provider so that we can successfully interact with the blockchain on our app. Okay, everyone, we are so close. Now we just have to use functionality to the front end of our app. So let's start by creating a new directory called components. And then inside there, we're going to create a page called connectButton.txx. And if we go there, we're going to scaffold a new component. It is named Connect Button because that's what it's going to do. Now, the magic of AppKit is that AppKit allows you to import in ready-made components that are out of the box with the package, which means this is perfect for a hackathon. So let me show you one. For example, we have Web3 Modal button, and now let's add that to our page. As you can see here, I've actually cleaned out a lot of the template from Next.js, so feel free to go ahead and do that. Let me get rid of this image. We don't need this image here. Inside this div, I want to put the connect button. And so let's just import that in. And now I think it's time to start our server and see how things look so far. Okay, the moment of truth. And there we go. That's our connect wallet button. When we click it, it will pop up with the modal with all of the default settings. Now let me go back. Let's just add a quick title here. Maybe we can add it. To here. My beautiful app. And there we go. Our Connect Wallet button is now working. So the most exciting thing about the AppKit Modal is the ability to customize it however you'd like. So if we quickly navigate over to the docs, you'll see that it has all of these layered features such as swaps, email and socials, smart accounts, one-click auth, on-ramp as we explored before. So let's go ahead and add email and socials. So I'm quickly going to show you what the modal looks like now. We just have the email and then we have all these different wallets. So let's go back to our code. Let's navigate to config. All we have to do is under an auth object. Email is already defaulted to true, so we don't need to include that. But let's put in the socials, and let's put show wallets as true. It's already defaulted to true, but I just want to show you what it's like if you toggle it on and off. So let's go back and refresh our app. As you can see here, you have continue with Google, X, Discord, GitHub, and Apple. Here you can change the order. So if I put X first, it will have continue with X. So you can customize it as you wish, depending on your user, group, or target audience. Now let's toggle show wallets to false. Okay, there we go. So you can customize your modal as you'd wish. It's very composable and modular, so you can pick and choose what you'd like. So now let's go ahead and connect a wallet. So I'm going to go ahead and continue with my wallet. I'm going to connect with my Ethereum. And here you can see it already populates my ENS and the amount of ETH that I have in my wallet. And here, if you click on the chain, you can switch between chains. So if I go to base, you'll see that I have 0.006 ETH. And we have on-ramp enabled, so you can buy crypto directly in app. Activity, you can explore the different activity of your account or wallet. You can copy the address. You'll see that this is my ENS avatar. It's very clean, composable, out of the box, and easy to implement, as you just saw. All right, so now that the user is able to successfully connect their wallet, now what? Let's go back over to our code, and let's make sure that we're on our page, which is where all the UI lives. And we're going to start by actually putting in the use client directive, just because everything is going to be rendered client side for this. We are then going to import in 2 wagmi hooks. So wagmi's hooks make it really easy for apps to interact with Ethereum and different chains. Let's say we're going to, for the simplicity of this demo, we're just going to use the use account hook and the use disconnect hook. Super simple. We're firstly going to start by destructuring account and is connected from use account. Whoops. Okay. Actually, that's address, I believe. And then we're going to go ahead and destructure, disconnect from the use disconnect hook. Okay, so I think we can use this div here and wrap it in a conditional with is connected. So if our wallet is connected, then we want to render, what do we want to render? We want to render the wallet address. Okay. If not connected, we are going to render, let's say, P statement, please connect your, wallet. All right, let's see how that looks. Let's go back. Okay, great. So my wallet is currently connected and it shows my address. Now, how to disconnect. We don't have a disconnect button yet, but it's super easy. Within our code, we need to find a place to put a disconnect button. Let's put it between these divs. So let's create a new div, and within that div, we're going to create a button. And for that button, on click, we're going to trigger this function. I'm going to trigger the disconnect function that we've already called. Don't need that semicolon, called up here. And let's call it disconnect. Just to make sure it shows up, let's also put some styling. So let's say we want a border. We want padding 2. Let's also go rounded. Let's see how that looks. Okay, super random. It's in the middle of our app, but that's okay. So all we have to do is click on this and it should be disconnected. We get our please connect your wallet app because there is no longer a wallet connected. And voila, you are now interacting with the blockchain and can now leverage all of the information in the connected wallet and do what you wish for your app. For a 48-hour hackathon, AppKit is perfect because it provides both out-of-the-box solutions to build apps super quick, but it can also meet you at your complexity levels. So if you want to incorporate more complex features, AppKit is modular enough to help you do that. Now, in terms of getting more support or learning more, I would firstly direct you to our docs. They were recently renovated by our lovely DevRel team in light of the product relaunch. You can also jump into our Discord where we're actively providing technical troubleshooting. You can open a discussion on GitHub. And of course, if you're around the hackathon area, please find one of our team members. They don't bite and they'll be more than happy to help you. So happy building, everyone, and I can't wait to see all the fabulous apps that you build with AppKit.